originally written in the 1960s, the Bo Diddley beat, recorded in the 1950s, and the Burundi beat, which have been in the hearts of African Americans and Africans for 1,000 years. And you have I Want Candy.
All right, you guys, welcome back to Inside the Reaction. I'm your boy, Black Pegasus. And I have to say, there's been a cover up. And when I say that, I mean that, there's some covers that have been or become more popular than the original. Today, we're going to uncover some covers. And who better to do that with me than the one and only, he's a music expert, an author. Yes, that's the one and only Tim Sommer. Welcome back, brother.
Thank you so much, Pegasus. It is always a pleasure to be here, to listen to what you have to say about music, to listen to your joy in discovering music. And today we're talking about covers. But what is a cover anyway? A cover, technically, I suppose it means when you do a song that was originally done by somebody else, that was originally written or recorded by somebody else, someone in the past, sometime in the past. But what does it really mean to be a cover? Do you think when an orchestra gets up on stage, they say, "Oh, we are going to cover Mozart"? It's wonderful that there's this great, great catalog of songs out there in the universe and have been for thousands of years that people pick up either through their hearts, through the ambient world, through songs they heard from their mother, songs they heard from their father, or songs they heard on the radio. So today we're going to talk about famous covers, songs that you may know, that your viewers may know, but which were originally recorded by a different artist. And we
Mhm.
begin today with an English band called Bow Wow Wow. Yes, like the sound a dog makes. Bow Wow Wow, who in 1982 had a huge worldwide hit with a song called I Want Candy.
Okay. So this what we're about to listen to, this is the original?
No, no, no. This is the
Okay.
cover. We're going to listen to the
Oh,
cover
okay.
today
Great.
first.
Okay, let's do this. All right, give me a pause real quick. I need to pinpoint some things.
I am dying to know what you think of this.
This is actually pretty wild. Like, this is
Isn't it?
really, like, loud and in your face, but then this contrast of this super catchy "I Want Candy." If we're talking about the lyrics and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's these, in today's day or in today's age, the younger folks is like, "Oh, you look like a snack," like, when someone's like, "Oh," and so this is what this is about. They're like, "Oh, I want candy, my desires," like, "You or I want you." That's what I'm vibing with, but, okay, it's loud, it's
Yeah.
great. the girl
Yeah,
reminds me of like her hair is like punk rock, like, like
that's correct.
Vanity with punk rock, but the
Yeah.
music, this is where I need your help. What is this?
Pegasus, there is so much to unpack here. You could almost tell the story of American rock and roll, even though this song is
Uh-huh.
recorded in England, this version
Oh,
anyway.
okay, yeah, that's
You
right.
could almost tell the story of American rock and roll by telling the story of this song. Now, first, and maybe we'll get a little more into this later, but first, that beat, that thumping, rolling beat, is a legendary archival, ancient African beat called the Burundi beat.
The
which
but I'm hearing it.
which comes
Okay.
from Central
Oh,
Africa, which comes from Central
okay.
Africa. In the 1700s and 1800s, America's unwilling black immigrants, that is, the slaves, were brought over from Central Africa, and the beat they had been playing for 1,000 years was the Juba beat, Juba, and the Burundi beat. This is specifically the beat native to Central Africa. When they reached the plantations of the South and the Deep South in the 1700s and the 1800s, one of the ways they communicated with each other, because they were not allowed musical instruments, and they communicated with their friends and their relatives in other plantations, was via these beats, via the drums, via music they made with their hands and their knees and their chests. And the beat they played was this ancestral beat, the Juba beat, the Burundi beat. Fast forward about 100 years, 50 years, and you have people like Bo Diddley who moved up from the Deep South to Chicago and picked up electric instruments. And what came naturally to them was to make electric rock and roll music using the beat they remembered hearing from their parents, from their grandparents, from their great grandparents. And that became what rock and roll people called the Bo Diddley beat. All the Bo Diddley beat was the Burundi beat sort of simplified and electrified in 20th century terms. Now, Bow Wow Wow, again, there's a hell of a story here, and I'm trying to unpack some of it, not without going into too much extraneous detail. Bow Wow Wow emerged about 1980, and they decided to use as the basis for so much of their music, not just this track, the Burundi beat. They went back not just to the Bo Diddley beat, but to the ancestral roots, to the music that was floating around and that they heard on records and tapes from the Burundi drummers of Central Africa. Now,
Wow.
mix that all up. You take a cover originally written in the 1960s, the Bo Diddley beat recorded in the 1950s, and the Burundi beat, which have been in the hearts of African Americans and Africans for 1,000 years. And you have I Want Candy.
I'm totally flabbergasted, and that's the other thing. Bo Diddley is someone who I have to get into. I remember I think I reacted to maybe Bad to the Bone, and I think he's playing pool, and people are like, "Bro, that's
That's
Bo
correct.
Diddley," and I was like, "I didn't. I still haven't discovered Bo Diddley." So maybe we do
And
something on ITR, or we'll see. But
before we get back to the song, I'm just going to say Bo Diddley, this was a beat. He took something called ham boning, the Juba beat, which again was something that every black child raised in America in the 1900s, the first half of in the 20th century, or any time during the 19th century, would have been familiar with something called ham boning, which was a kind of music made just with your thighs and just with your chests and just with your fists and your hands, which you then
kind of like
sang
the
to or chanted to.
kind of like this type of
Y-
thing where you're tapping their chest and kind of like the
Yeah,
knee slap concept. Got it. Got
exactly.
it.
Ham bone, ain't you ashamed for beating your wife with a walker cane? Ham bone.
it's so weird that you said that because my buddy Tech Nine, biggest independent rapper of all time, fast rapper, that's what he freestyles over his own beats. That's in the lunchroom. This is a thing.
And
So
he's
this is
picking up on
half
something that was done by his grandparents, done by his great-grandparents, done by his great-great-grandparents, and Bo Diddley, when he emerged in 1954, 55, 56, took that beat, took the ham boning beat, took the juba beat, took the freestyling beat, and he added electric instruments to it. Now, again, you have 1982, Bow Wow Wow, and there's a hell of a lot to say about Bow Wow Wow too, but we'll get to that after the song. Took all of that, took it back to the ancestral Burundi drums, and they created this strange magical track, I Want Candy.
Okay. Well, Michael, if you want to hit play for us, let's continue. This is great.
Kenny on the beach, there's nothing better. But I like Kenny's raps as well. Someday soon I'll make you mine. And I have Kenny all the time. I want candy. I want candy. I want candy. I want candy. Hey! 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 Yes! Yeah, I want candy. I want candy. I want candy. I want candy. Hey! 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 Hey!
The tribal ancestors are calling. The Burundi beat meets rock meets punk energy. They're not playing as fast as, like when I
That's
hear
correct.
certain punk you've put me onto, so I wouldn't, but their energy is very like, I don't give a F, and, and so that gives me that punk energy visually. Sonically, it's crazy. And then so I don't know, you could clarify this. When I hear the vocals, she sounds distinct, she sounds her own thing, but I get that energy of like a Blondie or Joan
Yep.
Jett. Is she along the lines around same time, or were they the trailblazers and maybe influenced her? How does that look on paper?
Now, Bow Wow Wow emerged about 1980, and the punk thing you may be picking up on, well, there's a lot of reasons for that. First of all, Bow Wow Wow were a band that were created with some assistance from a fellow named Malcolm McLaren, who is also the person who managed the Sex Pistols. But around 1979, Malcolm McLaren became involved with a band called Adam and the Ants. And with Adam and the Ants, he began giving them tapes of this Burundi music that I
Ah,
explained to you before, that I told you a little bit about before. But then in 1979, the bass player, the drummer, and the guitar player from Adam and the Ants all left the band on Malcolm McLaren's urging and teamed up with a 13-year-old singer named Annabella Lewin. Now, let me note here, Adam and the Ants continued with a different lineup, also incorporating the Burundi beat. And all of the early Adam and the Ants hits also used that same beat. So around 1980, 1981, this sort of music was very much in the air. But what was really interesting is Bow Wow Wow were somewhat, I shouldn't say somewhat, were very controversial. In the first case, they had a 13-year-old singer. At the time that they recorded I Want Candy, Annabelle Lewin was a little bit older, since I Want Candy is actually from their second album. But when
yeah.
Bow Wow Wow started, Annabelle Lewin, not only was she only 13, on their first album, which has a very strange name, and I'm going to have to read this to get it right. This was the name of the first Bow Wow Wow album. Sea Jungle, Go Join Your Gang, Yeah, City All Over, Go Ape Crazy.
Hmm.
On that first album, Annabelle Lewin, who was only 13 years old, was photographed nude, mostly naked. You could not do that today, and you could barely do it in 1980, and it was a great controversy. The other controversy or interesting thing about Bow Wow Wow is originally they had determined only to release their music on cassette, not an
Really?
album. Now, eventually that changed. Annabelle Lewin, it was a great controversy, like, probably members of parliament stood up and protested the fact that there was this 13-year-old girl portrayed naked on her album cover, and to tell you the truth, I think it's something that throughout her career since then, and she is still touring under the name Bow Wow Wow, she's had to explain, well, it wasn't just about the controversy. You can see there in that clip, she's a hell of a front person, excuse me, and a hell of a musician and a hell of a singer. I think we need to take a little bit of a deep breath here and get back to the fact that not only is this a great track, it is a cover, and bizarrely, going back to the original, which was recorded in 1965 by a
Mm,
man called the Strangeloves.
mm.
The original is actually quite similar. Now, Bow Wow Wow filled in the beat a little bit, took it from its Bo Diddley roots to the Burundi roots, and that's fascinating. But the fact is, the Strangeloves version, again recorded in 1965, is quite similar to that wild version we just heard from 1981.
Got you. Okay, well, let's cue it up because I have no clue where we would go from in
There's so much deep breaths. There's so
65.
much to that story.
Yeah, and jumping from 65 to 80 is kind of wild.
Yeah.
So, cool. Mike, if you wanna, cue it up, let's see what we got here with the original.
I know a girl who's so damn sweet. She's so fine to make me bleed. Got everything that I desire. Sets the summer sun on fire. I want candy. I want candy.
Will you hit pause for real quick? You know, now that I'm listening to this and you were able to highlight the Burundi beat, this is
Yeah.
so wild because that moment almost gave me like a marching band type of beat, but the
Yeah.
percussions, they're that extreme difference. Also, the guitar, like there's still this string presence here, but it's totally different from each version of this. But
Yeah.
then the bass line, the fundamental bass line, not bass line as legitimate bass line. I'm just saying like the blueprint of the song is just there though. This is so incredible because this is literally 2 time periods. You feel it, see it, and can interact with it
Yeah.
in like, this sounds exactly like I was like, "Well, is it gonna sound like the '60s?" And it sounds exactly like the '60s. I'm just like, "Oh,
Can you
fire."
imagine that big thump, thump, thump? Can you imagine being at your high school or junior high school dance in, Lawrence, Kansas, or Stony Brook, Long Island in 1965, and the DJ puts that on, and you're like, "Oh my god," and you're just stomping around the gym floor. Just can you imagine that feeling? Or you're driving around in your car, going to wherever the hell kids went in 1965 to the diner. I guess there weren't malls yet. To the diner, or they're going shopping at, Corvettes or wherever the hell they went shopping, and going to the record store, or they're driving back and forth to their friend's house, and that comes on, the little tinny, loud, distorted AM radio. Can you imagine, like, how that felt with that big, screaming, thumping beat coming through? My god.
Yeah, I love how everything becomes a time capsule. It's super fresh. It's kinda crazy that we're talking about this Burundi beat, and, I've noticed that some of these people are a little off rhythm, like, I'm like, "What's going on with the irk and jerk here and there?" Anyways, it's cool to see. This is a crazy jump. Let's keep it rocking,
Sure.
let's continue. This is dope.
Hey, boys, see you with a hell down. Ain't no finer girl in town. Man, just put the doctor hold it. She's so sweet, makes my mouth water. I want candy. I want candy. Hey, penny on a beach, there's nothing better. But I like Penny when he flaps in his sweater. Someday soon I'll make her mine, and I'll have Penny all the time. I want candy. I want candy.
Mm-mm-mm. This feeds 2 different parts of me in a sense. The Bow Wow Wow one has this edge to it, but they
Yeah.
both make me move, and they both make me feel the same way, but there's just edge to the Bow Wow Wow one where it's like, I feel like the Bow Wow Wow one would feed my 20-year-old side, and then this one would feed my current side. Like, it's just
Right.
kind of funny how I process that, and also, um, man, this is actually a really good song. Like, so
I
when I
Isn't
listen.
it? It is so fascinating to think that you can take a song, and this is a brilliant song to do it with, though I would also choose one of the early Bo Diddley singles, like the song Bo Diddley or the song Who Do You Love?
Mm,
Um, and a song, and you could sit in front of a ninth grade social studies class, and you could tell the story of America by playing that song, by saying, "Listen, this is something created in 1965." And now is a good time to say that the Strangeloves weren't a real band. They were, in fact, three record producers and songwriters named, I want to get this right, Bert Burns, Bob Feldman, Jerry Goldstein, and Richard Godwer, who are pretty well known music producers and songwriters. In fact, they also wrote Twist and Shout,
Shake it up, baby. Shake it up, baby. Twist it.
an incredibly famous song,
right,
and My
right.
Boyfriend's Back,
My boyfriend's back and you're gonna be in trouble. Hey la, my boyfriend is back.
another really famous song. So, anyway,
Yes.
you have these guys who took this song, and through that song, through that beat, you can say, well, this goes back 1,000 years to Central Africa. This goes back to slave ships in 1827. This goes back to southern plantations in 1840, 1850. This goes back to the northern migration when people moved up from the south to Chicago, to New York City in the 19 teens and 20s and 30s and bought that beat with them. My God, all of that story in one beat, in one song, in a song recorded by some recorded by some record producers in 1965 in New York, covered by a band in England in 1982. I love that this allows us to discuss all this. And again, I wish that there were teachers, that there were social studies teachers, that there were college teachers who could say, I'm going to teach an entire semester of American history, American cultural history, of musical history, of world history, just by playing you these songs.
Yeah, and how it connects because
Yeah,
essentially these are the hidden ingredients of the master chef's soup that you can't figure out why it tastes so freaking good, why it's so rich, all these things, and it's because of these ingredients that
yeah.
have made it this, masterpiece. The other thing is,
Yeah,
I don't.
Pegasus, you always put this so much better than I can.
Oh no, it just anyways, well, we can ride off into the sunset. I love this, and I'm glad we're getting into more covers. You know what? I had this light epiphany. I always just my mind wanders, but hearing this song and you kind of giving me, the backstory, but also about these songwriters, this to me is like pop music in a sense. It's like, that da 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 da. And sometimes there's these arguments online that, oh, you know, real artistic music has been taken out by pop music. And today, I think I might have had an epiphany. We're just humans, and it just cycles. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe artsy music took over pop music because, like this it came before this and that. And it's kind of cool to experience in real time and kind of learn. And so that's why I enjoy the ride. So I appreciate all these insights. And, I'll just keep coming up with epiphanies as I go.
It is such a as I said, I give you all this information and then you say it in just a few sentences. You somehow instinctively kind of understand what this stuff stands for, and that's fantastic.
Thank you so much. Well, you guys, that's the end of this one, the cover up. And we've uncovered a lot of depth and layers and parallels to the present, which that's where we're at, right? You have history, brings us to the present, which is going to eventually bring us to the future. So it's always great to get these insights from Tim. Thank you guys for joining us on these special episodes of Inside the Reaction. And we're going to keep uncovering the truth. See you on the next one.